There is a podcast about an island in the North Atlantic where people have been looking for an incredible treasure for more than 200 years.
Hello and welcome back to Could It Be?
An Oak Island podcast.
We are your hosts, Deidre and Dustin White.
Woo!
Woo!
Hi. What's up? Good to be back.
It is.
We had quite a bit of an off season, and
Yes.
we are back with recaps for The Curse of Oak Island, season 9. We're doing episode 1 today because we had the season premiere just a couple days ago.
So we're not gonna do, season 1 premiere. I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's where we're
if
at.
it's very starting, that's where we're at. That's why
Mhm.
we're doing the thing.
You know, we got some fun new little things we're going to surprise people with in the podcast today,
Fun
right?
new things.
There's going to be a couple.
Yeah. Some
Yeah.
Bobby Dazzlers.
Yeah, we see
maybe.
people are jumping into the live chat. What is up, everybody? Good to see you. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. We're so glad to be back.
We have
Yeah.
missed you dearly.
We have missed you guys a bunch. If you haven't heard it, we did a live stream
Yes.
with Scott Barlow, with Laird Niven, and
And
with
Guppy.
Steve Guptill. We did that on Monday, no,
Mhm.
Tuesday.
Whatever
it
day
was
the premiere
Tuesday.
was, right?
Yeah, just before the season premiere of The Curse of Oak Island and
Mhm.
drilling down. And that was a phenomenal chat.
It was a blast. Those guys are a hoot.
Every time we talk to them, I learn more and more about them, and I think I end up liking them just a little bit more.
I
every
know.
time.
It's hilarious stuff. So make sure to check that out. It is already up on YouTube and our Facebook page. And
And
Twitch.
are you putting that one up on the podcast feed?
I am putting it up on the podcast feed.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've got the audio pulled in. It'll get up today.
Yeah. So I was like, I haven't looked at our podcast feed forever,
Uh-huh.
like forever, and probably a day.
Yeah.
Both. together.
And a day. Okay.
Yeah, and a day. And so I was like, where's our Robert Clotworthy interview?
I know I put it up. So there is something wrong.
And where is the audio from when we did the season finale recap with The Curse of Oak Island Beyond?
Apparently that's only hanging out on YouTube. And I would just like to say it's from all the times you dropped the ball in the Clotworthy moment. This is my payback to you.
You're catching up.
Unfortunately, they're suffering a little bit.
Well, if you didn't hear, we did do an awesome interview with Robert Clotworthy
Yes.
a couple
Oh my
months
gosh.
ago now.
Mhm.
And we actually surprised him with a bunch of the members of the Fellowship of the Dig.
Because he'd never been on the
He's never
island
been to
and
Oak Island?
met them. He has spoken of them.
Yeah, well, many times. He knows them
Right?
way better than they know him.
Like, I don't know.
And no, it was a great interview. And we actually,
It was so much fun.
the last Clotworthy moment of the season
Mhm.
was broadcast like with Robert right there. And it
Uh-huh.
was a drop of the drill rod. Like, I don't have that on the button thing right now,
Mhm.
but so that's what it was. If you were curious what won the last Clotworthy moment of the season. Anywho, we're here to talk
Anywho.
about season 9, episode 1.
I know we're like three and a half minutes into this, and we haven't actually touched on the episode.
Well, it's because
But-
we're getting the pleasantries out of the way, the
Oh.
welcome backs, that we love you guys and we hope you guys love us too.
Mhm.
You know, we hope you missed us because we sure missed you. And now we could talk about The Curse of Oak Island, season 9, episode 1, and the crossing of the Causeway.
Oh, that sounds super important. And actually, you know what? It is. And
Yeah.
this was a really unique moment,
Yeah.
at least to me.
It's kind of like it's a rite of passage.
I was
for
shook.
that's how the season needs to start, with a grand entrance over the Causeway.
Yeah. And the grand entrance was missing something.
Who?
Marty.
Hmm.
Usually it's Marty and Rick
Usually.
crossing the causeway together. Even like last year, he went and picked up, Rick, and they drove
Well,
across
last
together.
year, neither one of them were at the beginning of the episode.
I know, but in the classic causeway moment,
Mhm.
it's usually
Rick and
like a
Marty.
blue shirt and a red shirt.
Yeah.
Or I mean, usually it's blue. Sometimes he does green. But
Sometimes. Yeah. So anyway,
Craig.
they're crossing the Causeway.
Mhm.
We had Rick, Gary, Craig, and Peter.
yes, I learned Gary's second favorite color.
I did too. I also learned his favorite color in this episode. That's a
Gold.
spoiler alert, though, right? Don't want to get there yet.
Oh, I don't think it's like,
It's not a spoiler alert.
no.
Gary's favorite color is definitely gold.
Duh. That's
And his second favorite color is what?
silver.
Silver, baby. Yeah. So Gary does explain that he has a silver dance ready to go if they're pulling up silver.
Correct.
So
On standby. And everybody seems shocked that he actually has a silver dance. And he's like, heck yes, I do.
so
Except Pete doesn't seem surprised.
well, we haven't seen the gold dance yet, you know,
No.
and so maybe it's just the same dance. Like, I wonder if it's that different.
I feel like Gary's got a ton of things, if you will.
Maybe. All right. So they get across that causeway. They're talking about, one thing I noted from, so Clotworthy does his whole opening thing where, he's like talking about all the things they found. And it's like the same opening for every episode.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that he said that he hasn't said before, it's like the new part.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about man-made workings dated to medieval times.
That's true. He kind of slipped something new in there.
Yeah. I wonder if it's like the medieval times in Vegas. Is it where they go and you eat dinner and you watch people joust?
And you're going to eat a turkey leg while people are jousting? Oh, man. I would love to see all the guys like joust in the money pit with turkey legs. And
wait, joust with turkey legs or with the joust?
Nah.
What are they called?
They're probably going to joust, be really tired, and then they get a turkey leg, because you should not joust and turkey leg at the same time. That's definitely a hazard. Well, actually, jousting is kind of a hazard.
Jousting is definitely
in
a hazard.
general.
If you have the jousting stick, I don't even know what it's officially called, in your good hand, your dominant hand,
yeah,
you can have the turkey leg in your your other hand.
But you're going to lose your turkey leg, and that's important. So I want all arguments
not if you're good, not if you win,
to be settled by jousting.
So that raises the stakes. Like your turkey leg's also on the line, so you better not fall off your horse.
When in doubt, joust it out.
Wow, that was pretty good. You just come up with that? Wow.
So
not bad.
Yeah, if there's a disagreement, I would like to see the guys joust it out.
Sure. So who's going to be the first jousters of the?
It's totally it's Steve and Scott
against each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like a brotherly rivalry.
And I bet they both like turkey legs. So
who doesn't? All right. So man, we are like I'm literally 1 inch into my notes, and I have like 10,000 inches of notes.
Yeah,
so
me
we
too.
Better get
okay,
going.
I guess we better get going.
We just haven't been here in so long.
I know.
We missed you guys, and we hope you missed our silliness. All right,
Even if not, it's too late.
Yeah, the team is just excited about the possibilities of silver on the island this year.
Mm-hmm.
We do have the little flashback scene of Spooner saying that there's silver.
Mm-hmm.
Gary thinks that this year will be really significant, and Rick says, how can you not be excited?
I mean, you can't not be excited.
Oh my gosh. I was so stoked. We were ready. We were ready for season 9.
We have been.
All right, so they do get up into onto the island, and they're about to enter the war room for the first time.
Oh, yes. So
do you know who was there?
I do. I know
who busted down the door.
Oh man. Watch out for Peter this year. He got the entrance. He got the hey, and Peter walking through the door, and he's all over this episode. Watch out for the friendly pirate. I think he's got a big he's got something big coming.
Yeah, he's going to be finding the silver. Who knows?
Maybe.
We'll see.
I mean,
yeah, well,
nice job, Peter
making an entrance.
And he did. He made a very solid entrance. So
who else was there?
Obviously we had Peter, Gary, Rick, and Craig, who are entering in the war room, which has Laird, Scott, Charles, Doug, Billy, Spooner. I wrote Gary again. And then joining via video conference, of course, is Marty and Alex, because they had very important business back in Traverse City. And whatever important business is, I hope they got it all squared away. But also joining via video from other parts of the island, because the fellowship is ginormo, is Tom, Jack, Terry, Steve, Dan Hensky, Dr. Matt Lukeman, Paul, Miriam, Liz, and the mystery archaeologist.
Ooh.
we've seen little hints of this archaeologist on Instagram over the summer.
We did. I missed that.
Yeah.
I don't do the gram thing. The Insta. What do the kids call it?
Do it for the gram.
Is it the Insta or the gram?
No, it's definitely not the Insta.
Oh.
Like no one, you can say IG. I don't think anyone calls it the gram anymore except for like me. You know,
I'm too old for that stuff. I like Facebook things. Or Meta. Whatever it is. My bad. Keep go on.
Oh, you try to act cool, but we know better. Sorry. So mystery archaeologist.
Yeah.
Rick says the best way to start out is to toss it to Dr. Spooner. And he goes on to tell him, no matter how you cut it, there's silver there.
Yeah. One thing that Rick said that I noted was that this is his Everest and he wants to climb it. And I thought that was a fun little quote.
It is. But then I'm a little heartbroken about all the pictures I've seen over on the gram of people climbing Everest, and there's like everybody's trash is at the top.
Oh, you mean like actual
Everest.
Mount Everest?
So I'm concerned now if Rick climbs Everest, he's going to find a bunch of trash because of the metaphor.
No, it's his Everest. It's a metaphor, meaning that it's not actually Mount Everest.
Okay, so it's not actually everybody's trash they left at the top of the island with a bunch of flags.
He's just going to the top of the Serpent Mound. Okay.
To the mound.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
yeah. So
sorry,
you're right. Ian Spooner, or the swamp doctor, was talking about the silver, and it's not just a little bit; it's a lot of bit.
Yes, Billy, dump truck full.
Yeah. And what Billy's like, I didn't forget about that part.
I got that.
Yeah. Doug noted that the highest concentrations of silver were just north of borehole C1. That's funny because, like, spoiler alert, I'm going to get into the end already, but oh, wait, no, I can't talk about that yet. But,
what?
Okay. Well, I was going to talk about the G word, but we have to get there first. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Never mind. Rewind. Bring it back.
You didn't hear that.
Yeah. There was some flashbacks to the initial C1 explorations over the years. Spooner says that they found a lab that can... Okay, well, I guess I could get into it now. He found a lab that could detect GOLD in water underground.
Say what?
I said gold. Well, I spelled out gold.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So anyway, what I was going to say is later on they have like some samples of what could be GOLD.
Why are you whispering about this?
Because
this is no longer a secret.
I have to keep it on the down low a little bit because it's like it's spoiler a little bit because it's like because it's toward the end of the anyway. It seemed like the GOLD was found south of C1. That's all I'm trying to say. And Doug said the highest concentrations of silver were just north of C1. So that's all I'm saying. Let's go back to the notes, huh?
Yeah, let's stay on track.
Go for it.
Okay, so you were just talking about GOLD and that yes, there is a gold. There is a lab that detects gold that he found in Queens, Ontario.
Queen's University.
Yes.
It's going to be doing that, yeah.
Correctamundo. And Craig goes on to tell him, I thought we couldn't detect gold in water. And so it was like, apparently you can.
You learn something new every day, Craig.
Yep. I would like to note Craig seemed so happy this entire episode.
Oh my gosh.
Out of all the seasons combined, I don't think I've ever seen him smile this much so often. I think he's more of a Dave than we give him credit for. Like, he wants the gold. He likes good science, but he's all in.
I wonder if when he's done for the day, he goes over to Dave Blankenship's house on the island and
has some some Goldschlager.
Yeah, well, yeah, Goldschlager. That sounds like that. Why is that not Dave's drink? It has like little flakes of gold in it.
Because he wants to pull a crown out of the ground.
Yeah. So Rick says that everybody is on board with this gold testing or water testing. Clotworthy then explains that Spooner will take samples from 30 different boreholes initially. And Marty asks Rick, what about putting down more big cans this year? Huh,
big
Rick?
Cans.
Huh, big brother?
Yeah.
And they're talking to Irving Equipment Limited about bringing 10-foot wide cans onto the island this year. 10. Like double the width of what's currently at C1. Isn't that a 5-foot can?
I thought Well, C1 started pretty small. So C1 started at 6 inches. Then I thought it went to 5. Then I thought it went to 8.
Oh.
And now, like...
I think it's still at 5, but maybe you're right. Don't know.
Well, C1, if you look at the handy dandy maps, you'll see the size that was originally there. And then another can was put over it in order to pull more out.
Maybe the chat will know.
I just told you.
I don't believe you.
I know, but...
Okay.
Did you hear that, guys? He just like straight up went over me. Well, I had proof. Maybe the channel knew.
Well, I'm just saying it doesn't hurt for a second opinion. Or a third, because I have an opinion too.
Oh, yes, you do.
All right.
Carry on.
Carry on.
So
all right. So that means ROC, good old Rock's gonna be back with Vanessa and Danny. We didn't show it or anything, but we're hoping.
We know.
Yeah.
She let it loose on the gram.
On the Insta?
Yeah.
Nice.
So maybe you should get younger and join the Insta. Anyway, so with 10-foot cans, like Rick explains.
Tom agrees with you. He says it's 40% more volume than the 8-foot cans currently there.
I know. I was just I was reading that note right now. And you went, "Oh, Tom agrees with you."
There you go. See? I guess you're right. I guess I missed that part. Carry on.
Oh, man. So, yeah. Rick wants to touch on the swamp.
Ooh.
So we're steering the direction, steering the conversation. And they talk about the stone road and the cobblestone path from last year. And
there's
everything
flashback
they found around it. Yep. Always got to have our flashbacks.
Sure.
And Rick says that they hope to find the stone path and find out where it goes. Because, they did have to stop as... I'm sorry, guys. We're looking at each other because right now our cat is being super annoying right behind us, which I'm sure you can hear because he's being very loud.
Yeah, so let's just drown him out. So, yeah, they're talking about the stone road in the swamp. Laird informs the team that they're going to have stricter regulations this season.
Yeah.
And I think that's got everybody a little bit down, but it also gives them a little bit of a, pat on the back for proving that this site is extremely significant.
Yep. So they're going to
Otherwise, they wouldn't be trying to get in there.
Yeah. And they're going to have to do a lot more troweling. And, and Rick says that he thinks Miriam has hung on to a trowel for him.
Are you sure?
I am.
How do you know?
Well, we'll give you a trowel. Don't worry.
Oh.
So we have Laird who will.
Do you want a trowel?
And Miriam?
Well, we'll give you a trowel. Don't worry.
She's got him on standby.
Don't worry. Trowels are available to all that want them. Apparently.
Even if you don't want them. And
yeah, I can't wait to see Marty get in there with a trowel.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And I would like to congratulate Miriam on having her first soundboard clip.
Yeah, good job, Miriam.
You have made it.
And that was the only time we saw Miriam in this episode, but I know that she's going to be a big factor in the rest of the season. So
absolutely.
We're excited for that. We're excited for all the archaeological stuff. So, and you should be too.
Returning to that, Rick brings up, the CCH, right? Which is the Department of Community Cultural and Heritage, who oversees archaeology for Nova Scotia. And that was a bummer.
These are just dropped her notes.
All of them.
Yeah. So the CCH, right?
Yep.
So the CCH are trying to make it harder for them to do their work. Is that how it goes?
I don't think that they're necessarily trying to make it harder so much as they stood up, took notice, and was like, hey, okay, you're right. But we need to...
It is complete validation.
Absolutely. But it sounds like they're working with them. So when we have talked to Laird in the past, and we've talked about all the reports he has to write and what it takes to do permitting.
Yep.
Well, he has said that they're really good about working with them and, getting stuff pushed through and all that fun stuff. And it sounds like that's still the case. They just want to make sure that it's done right. And they're going to work together.
Yes.
One team, one dream. And that is what it sounds like is happening here.
Sounds good. Hey, Connie L says that she wants to see Steve with the trowel.
Oh, don't you remember Steve making sandcastles in the swamp with a trowel?
Okay, that was a Photoshop.
I think he really may have used a trowel.
Billy has a giant trowel.
It does.
It does?
He does. He does.
Mhm.
It is
So,
the
yeah,
trowel.
Mary's reminding us Steve used one once last year.
That's true.
And he sat on his bum while using it. So maybe is that from that picture? That screen grab you grabbed?
Mm-hmm.
Him and Michael John?
I did place a shovel like in his hand,
Hmm.
but I swapped out his regular shovel for a plastic one.
Funny.
Poor Steve. He's just an easy target, apparently.
Yeah. So back to the show. Yeah, Laird just says that what they've done in previous years has, really caught the authorities' eyes.
Mhm.
And Laird says that they need to dig by hand and screen everything just like any other archaeological site.
Yeah, that means the sifter and all the fun stuff.
Yeah, well, I thought it was supposed to be the Fellowship of the Dig, not the Fellowship of the Trowel.
It's the Fellowship of the Shake. Shimmy and shake.
Yeah.
Might be some good gifts coming out of that.
Could be. Marty says that this is basically a pat on the back and acknowledgement of what they're doing is for a purpose and proving they are right, and it's working.
Mhm.
So well done, Fellowship of the Dig. Sorry that it might slow you down a little bit, but it'll probably be to everybody's benefit too. So
Definitely.
So right on.
Yeah. Mad respect to the team for like proving it. I mean, as Gary says, we made him care.
Made him care.
Yep.
All right, so now we get on to some work. They're dismissed from the war room.
Mhm.
And where do they go first in the season? Do they go to Smith's Cove?
Come on. We know that Smith's Cove is done, yo.
Do they go to Borehole 10X?
No, we didn't even touch on 10X, and we know that's coming. Why are you teeing me up like this?
Did they go to the swamp?
Not next.
Well, where'd they go?
Okay, let's just talk about the money pit.
The money pit. Okay.
Gosh.
So what are they doing in the money pit then? Hey, can you go take care of the cat?
Actually, I can. I'm going to go do that.
I'll stall. I'll cover for you, okay?
Thanks.
All right,
cover for me?
Yeah, so the cat is like being really whiny right now. We love him. We love the cat. He's a big kitty, 20 pounds. Anywho, yeah, we're going to the money pit now. Oh, look, there's the cat. If you're watching the live stream, Deidre is holding up the cat like he's Simba from The Lion King. And bye-bye, Simon. It's not Simon Cowell, it's Simon Howell, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back, Deidre.
Thank you,
Deidre
Justin.
Ann. Okay. Yeah, so we go to the money pit. We got Spooner. We got Lukeman, Guptill, Barlow,
Are we
Barkhouse.
just going to call him Lukeman from now on? Because I'm down with that.
Yeah, Barkhouse and Gearhart.
Yep.
So they're all last names to me now.
Yeah, they all have jerseys, with their last names.
They
right?
should. Mm-hmm. Oh, sounds like the cat is dying. Yeah,
It does sound like that.
That's what he sounds
It
like.
especially sounds like that around 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's a real bummer. Anywho, you guys missed the anywho's. Anywho, all right. So they're doing more to get the additional water samples needed. The 30 that initial ones that they were talking about.
Just 30.
Yeah, they're gonna scan them for every element in the periodic table. Is that right?
That is correct.
Wonder if they found any like krypton.
They didn't test for krypton, so probably not.
They tested for 65 metals out of the periodic table. Guess what's on the periodic table? Krypton. So I'm guessing they probably checked for it.
So Steve says they have a game plan.
Yes.
And he's holding his map up, showing where it is, and he's like shaking it, so I can't get a good look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bitter at all.
Mm.
So he's saying some of the samples are coming from 2017 wells, 2020 wells, or did he say 2019? Anyways, what I didn't realize, and I learned, the wells are still there. Like, they didn't let them just cave in.
Well,
there's a bunch of PVC pipe again underneath the gravel pad. That didn't even dawn on me.
They talked about that in the past. Why weren't you paying attention?
First things first, you never listen, and that's what you have picked up on.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So they dug them up and found them.
Yep.
And then I may have laughed hysterically because we're always making fun of Steve for his rock finds. And they literally, all this technology, and they're covering up the top of the boreholes just with a big rock. So Steve just picks up a rock and carries it away. I'm like,
no biggie.
Nobody's got a cap or anything. So we're just using rocks to keep rocks from falling into boreholes. It's very technical.
Yeah. And Steve
is like, oh, look, a rock.
And it works just fine.
Apparently. I mean, I don't know, but
no,
yeah.
It does. It works great. Cool. So yeah, Steve uncaps it. They're starting at borehole E8. I'm a little disappointed. It's not like E8.25-7.5 or something like that, but whatever. Can't have it all. Have it all. Clotworthy does explain the water sample bailer and how that works again.
Yep. Pretty cool.
And Spooner is like, oh, I wonder what this water tastes like.
What is this? Why is there so much tasting of water? Do we remember last year and Rick, was it last year or a year before? Like Rick drinking the swamp water?
I think it was 2 years ago, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
He says, so Spooner pulls it up and he says, I'm just going to taste this. Steve's response, who's standing next to him, are you serious? Ugh. Yeah. Spooner, quite mineral rich, but fresh. A fair bit of iron or calcium.
Are you surprised he didn't kiss his hand?
Yeah, it sounded like a review from a restaurant. Yeah. And he's that it's like he looks at Steve, who's disturbed, and says, it's nothing that would ever hurt you down there. And I'm thinking, you don't know that. Have you seen what's come out of there?
Yeah, Spooner. There could be. Yeah, there's bones. So
like he could have just drank some bones.
You know, you're not the.
Could be mercury.
We're not the only ones with those concerns. We did have a listener, Patricia Miner. She, when I asked for questions and stuff for this podcast, she said she mentioned Spooner tasting the water in the early in the episode, and she asked if that made us think about the theory that Sir Walter Raleigh was buried on Oak Island in a casket full of mercury. And she was a little worried when they drank it.
I'm very worried.
I think that wasn't it Francis Drake with the mercury though.
I don't care. All the mercury or whatever. I'm like, you haven't actually tested that water yet. So you're like, there's nothing that ever hurt you down there. And he drinks it. And I haven't seen him active on social media in a while. So Spooner, if you hear this, please let us know you're okay. Or if you're not, we'd like to know that too.
I think he's fine.
You don't know that.
I bet he's fine.
You could bet, but
if I was a betting man, like the other doctor later says, I bet he's fine.
I bet he doesn't know if he's fine yet or he's immune to everything.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about all the money pit stuff or are we going to go to the next section of this?
Well,
that's how we usually do it. What do you think?
I don't care.
Yeah, let's go. Let's talk about the next time they go to the money pit.
Yeah, let me find it here in my handy dandy notes. The next time.
Oh, you know what? Maybe not, because we have to like describe because the things that they do.
Yeah, they kind of
like have an order. Like I think the next part we should talk about is maybe going to Dr. Spooner's house.
Yeah. We all know where Dr. Spooner lives now.
They didn't give his address. They showed the outside. Whoopee. Yeah, so they had a house call with the doctor.
House call for the doctor.
Yeah. And so Dr. Spooner had a meeting with Rick, Craig, and Marty, along with his partner, Dr. Pierre
Pouffa.
How do you say it?
Pierre Pouffa.
Yeah,
I think. I don't speak French.
I'm going to call him Dr. Pierre.
Can we Dr. P? Like Dr. Pepper?
Ooh. Dr. Pepper's huge on Oak Island.
See? So, I like Pierre.
Well, his name's not Pierre, though. His name is Pierre.
I thought it was more Pierre, the way
maybe it is, but it's P-I-E-R. So Dr. P from Queen's University, he's a director of the university's facilities of isotope research, and he wanted to give an update on the water test. And it was something that's so exciting. They had to like do it from the they had to like go to Dr. Spooner's house and just get the information out quickly.
I mean, it was pretty
crazy.
quite important. Well, he was saying it was fresh off the presses. They hadn't even actually sorted through and done the sorry, think the processing of the data yet.
Sorry, that's not what I was laughing at. I was laughing at Agnes Brooks' comment in here. Right. She says, nothing beats the look on Peter's face when he heard about the Templars using their teeth to make carvings on the walls in the Templar prison. Oh my gosh. We saw that just a couple of days ago. We were watching something.
We're like, oh, here comes the part.
It's like we sit on the edge of our seat waiting for that because it's so funny.
There's a part in this episode that I love. That's also a facial reaction.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We'll get to that toward the end.
We definitely will.
Yeah, so Spooner is giddy.
Yes.
That's what I put in my notes. Spooner is giddy. And Dr. P is very happy to help Oak Island. So
you know what Spooner is?
What?
And so I'm pretty excited.
He sounds it.
He doesn't sound excited at all.
But he sounded excited when he was talking to him at this moment.
I know. It made me laugh. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So they analyzed 12 samples, and some of them showed evidence for GOLD, for Gary's favorite color, which is
gold.
Gold.
Like you just spelled.
Yeah. Marty and Craig are looking very excited.
Yeah.
I think, to me,
everybody's giddy.
Rick didn't look like real excited. He's just like, I think he might have been in shock.
No, he was like, I told you so.
I know, but I think he was like, whoa. I don't know.
Craig is downright giddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Craig had a really fun smile on his face throughout this section. Yeah, so Marty said he was like, whoa. He thought that gold was insoluble. And
I guess not.
Yeah, I guess not. Dr. P said that nothing is truly insoluble, and they can analyze every element in the periodic table, and it comes down to the equipment that they have, and they have that equipment.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Deidre loaded up the soundboard with new things today.
I'm sorry, there were too many great new sound clips, so I was like, sorry, I gotta swap some of these out.
What was that one?
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
That feels good for so many moments.
Yeah, so that's crazy. All right, so they had those samples analyzed, and there are 3 samples that had elevated concentrations of gold in them.
Gold? Could
gold.
It be?
Okay, fine. I'll spell it out. GOLD.
Okay, we're done.
Okay.
Spelling.
All right. So Marty asks how much they are talking here, and Dr. P says that for something that should be like insoluble, any concentration at the levels they're discussing is exciting, and in normal waters shouldn't be there. So that makes them excited. That makes us excited. Like anybody watching the show's got to be excited to hear something like that.
Well, yeah, it gives you a little bit of pep in your step, right?
Oh yeah, pep, step, pepper. Dr. P.
Marty suggests the gold and silver could be leaching in from the chapel vault.
Yeah.
And Craig says that F4 is north of the chapel shaft, which is where they believe the money pit was.
Yeah.
So
they're really zeroing in on a spot.
So
yeah, that's exciting.
Craig says that to him, if the treasure was already found and taken, then we wouldn't likely have it leaching into the water still.
Yeah.
Good point. I mean, and he has a big
Cheshire cat grin.
Yeah.
Right?
And to see Craig that excited, I mean, that says something.
Yeah. Because that's like one of the questions you have. You know, you have the question of like, well, if there was a big treasure there, I mean, it's probably most likely someone's like, oh, well, I'm going to take my treasure when I'm, when it's time for me to take my treasure, and there could be nothing there. But this suggests otherwise, which is really good for us and our TV show that we love. So,
but Craig goes on to say he's going to take the data from this into account as they're putting together the new drill program, which makes sense, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Speaking of the new drill program.
Oh, yeah. Let's go to the new drill program.
So they are over at the money pit.
The money pit.
So if they go from
Choice Sonic Drilling arrives to Oak Island once again.
Yeah, bring on the choice sausage.
Yeah, our friends Brennan McMahon, Mike Tedford, and I don't know if we've seen Adam before, have we? Adam McNeil.
I think we've seen him, but we have not formally been introduced.
Oh, we have today, or this episode anyway. Yeah, Craig explains that they found silver in the water, but a lab that they're working with also found what might be gold in the money pit, and that he's as hopeful as he's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good news.
That is good news.
Yeah.
So
Clotworthy does explain about the new drilling program and about the 20 boreholes that they're calling the C1 cluster that they're planning on putting down there. And based off those findings, that's when they're going to then go with the big cans with Irving Equipment Limited and Rock and put in those 10-foot wide caissons.
Yeah. So they did the 30 water samples, right, from before. And now they're going to put in 20 new boreholes based off of said water samples. You know, it's like
Swiss cheese.
It's worse than Swiss cheese. At least Swiss cheese has some left. Like you said, then 10-foot cans, and then a DE7, which is the first one that they're working on, you know, and Steve's shaking his map.
Shake
your map, which is 13 feet from C1.
Yeah. So Scott and Steve do arrive to plot the points that they're going to be digging. Craig has the honor of like spray painting it. And he puts the alchemic symbol for gold. Like that's what he draws on the ground. He's like, gold, baby.
Yeah.
He's about ready to do his gold dance.
He is so excited about gold. That's what I'm saying. I think he's got a little Dave. Well,
I mean, the hope for 227 years has been to find gold on Oak Island.
Yeah.
And unless you're Randall Sullivan, then you want to find Shakespeare's manuscripts. And Dave Blankenship, remember, he wasn't down with that. He's like, meh.
He's like, I'll sell them.
Yeah, I'll sell them.
He's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
man.
good stuff.
That's
good memory. All right, so they mark the ground. The team joins Charles and Terry Matheson, geologist, and Oak Island researcher extraordinaire Charles Barkhouse at Terry's operating table, where all the magic happens in the money pit.
Are we going straight into more money pit notes?
Isn't that what's next?
Well, because like I'm sitting here going through this. I'm going, wait, we went to the swamp and
so maybe I missed something in my notes.
No, we could go more money pit. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, let's do more money pit. So Craig asks if they're ready, and Terry replied, "Ready, we're standing steady."
I missed that.
That's a new this new Terryism.
I need to find that.
That needs to go on the soundboard. Stat.
If I had heard that, I definitely would have.
I mean, that's I like the word like stat, but that's like way longer than stat. But I would replace stat in my life with ready, we're standing steady. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. So, in a little side interview, Marty says that this isn't a wild goose chase anymore, and there is gold here. And hopefully they're going to find the treasure chamber they're looking for. The first choice sausage is put up on the table of the season. It's only at 9-foot depth at that point.
Correct.
Yeah, and so there's nothing to note of it. Terry says, let's move on, right?
Carry on.
And then Rick says that the gold would be the end-all be-all, but he just wants to hold something that says the story is real, and he's excited about that.
He's excited.
Heck,
and he just can't hide it.
Yeah, so then I guess we could go a little bit deeper onto the money pit, where the next choice sausage from a depth of, 150-ish feet?
Well, so they go away, right? And then they come back, and because Rick is checking in. Them, right?
Sure.
And lets him, when Rick is showing up, who's checking on Craig, Steve, and Terry, making sure they're behaving themselves. They let them know they're currently 139 feet, and the next core should be around 150.
Sure.
Craig says that they are, of course, looking at the wood and the sediments, but they're also going to end up testing the water for trace elements of gold and silver. The idea is to use all the information available to them, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So the next core, Craig said about 150. What they bring over, they cut it open. And around the 145-foot mark, there seems to be some disturbed material.
it's a little bit blackened.
Could it be?
It could.
And then
They do call it out of place.
they do call it out of place.
So
And Terry says there's a small chunk of wood, more slivery, if you
Mhm.
will.
he was
And-
excited about it though.
But he is
So
pretty
don't
stoked.
don't diss
take his
little
joy.
sliver of wood. He was really stoked to see that. What is wood doing at that depth, right? So
Well, Craig points out that at 145 feet puts them roughly near the top of the where the chapel vault was found.
yeah,
And Craig then asks Terry if it's a possibility that this is a tunnel that collapsed in on itself. And Terry says, yeah, absolutely. It could be. And Craig's like, yeah, let's get C14 dated.
that's right.
Well, okie dokie.
Yeah. So sorry, I got a little frog in my throat or phlegm in my throat or whatever.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, they need to get that dated, of course. And then in the little side interview, Marty says that if the wood dates to or before the discovery of the money pit, things could get very exciting. And it's all really encouraging.
Definitely.
They do put up another choice sausage onto the table.
Yep.
There is nothing to note from this choice sausage, and
Yep.
that makes the team sad.
Yeah,
They're
but
like,
Craig's
wah,
like, all
wah.
right,
Yeah.
wrap it up. Let's move on to the next one. We got only 29 more to go. Oh, wait, no. Are they doing 20 new ones? Yeah, 20
Yeah,
new ones.
so
19 more
more.
to go
At that point.
at that current point. And then another 200 after that.
Yeah.
So Craig's ready to wrap it up. Remember, no information is also good information because it's still information.
Yes, they do go back to the money pit one more time.
Mm-hmm.
And toward the end of the episode, Steve says that they are in a hot zone. That's what he proclaims.
And I wonder if he read that book,
What?
The Hot Zone, because you
Is
do
it about
not
surveying?
want to be in the hot
Oh.
zone.
If it was about surveying, he'd probably be all over it.
True.
So-
No, it's never mind. I'm just going to leave that there.
All right. So they're drilling borehole CD6. Again, I wish it was like CD 6.75 or something, but we'll take what we can get.
Yep.
It's less than 10 feet east of borehole C1.
Mhm.
In addition to trying to find the treasure, they're also looking for evidence of a tunnel at around 90 feet.
Mhm.
So they knew that going into this one.
Yes.
It's because it's the result of, or the reason they're looking for that is because of something they had found the prior year, possible tunnel, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So Craig wants to also get the water sample at that on that one as well,
Mhm.
and at that depth. And Adam from Choice drops off a sausage
Mhm.
from a depth of about 85 feet. That's where that's the ish they're
Mhm.
looking for.
Yep.
And put that on Terry's operating table. And Terry says that the end looks a little looser than normal.
Could this be a sign?
And then I think the rest of my notes for this part got deleted off my phone. So you're gonna have to fill us in.
At the 85-foot depth. And
This is Terry's moment.
this is Terry's shining moment
Mhm.
where they get there and he uses his air quotes and crosses his eyes saying, a tunnel.
Tunnel. We love you, Terry. We do.
We stopped and rewound it and rewatched it multiple times
It was pretty good.
because it was classic.
Yeah,
A tunnel.
We're actually going to talk about this moment again a little bit later,
Yeah.
because we made a GIF and asked people to fill in the blank of what he said with their funniness, and
Oh yeah.
we'll go over the funny ones at the end because I thought that was fun. It's something we might do every week going forward.
Yeah. So the next core is at that 90-foot mark and it has a big chunk of wood in it. So there's your tunnel. And
So is it the-
Terry calls it a floor to ceiling collapse. He has no doubt.
Yeah,
He's 100% sure. He's
Yeah.
all in.
because it's all compacted.
And he's seen the stacked beams.
Yeah, it's it's basically two layers of wood that
Mhm.
had been apart but are mushed together now.
Smushed, if you
Smushed.
will.
Yeah.
And Craig's really excited about this. And
What's Craig not excited about?
anything not gold related, I guess, because he is.
You know what,
just
Craig?
stoked.
It doesn't seem like anybody's excited about Smith's Cove right now. So Craig is not excited about Smith's Cove. That's what
That's
I'm saying.
fair. That's fair. But what they point out, and kind of Scott repeats, is what Craig is saying. We want to take a water sample at that point where there would have potentially been a tunnel,
Mhm.
because the tunnel, if say the water was leaching in or through or pushing through from a collapse, then the water that's in there that's moving horizontally hopefully will have that leaching material,
Please.
and
Please.
hopefully
hope.
they're gonna follow it. And Steve's like, hopefully this is the tunnel we are gonna follow. Hi ho, hi ho. And they're like, hey, get a water sample, send in the shark,
Send him in.
also known as the Baylor.
Yeah. So should we go to the war room right after that? Because that does wrap up the money pit stuff.
Well, that wraps up the money pit
It
stuff.
also wraps up the whole episode, doesn't it?
No, what about the swamp? We didn't even get to touch on the
Oh,
swamp.
I know. We're going to go back to the swamp. And then we still have Gary's adventures with Peter. So which one do you want to do first? The swamp or Gary's adventures with Peter?
This sounds like a children's book, but I don't care either way.
Well, I'm kind of dying to get to the Gary's adventures with Peter.
Okay, let's get to Gary's adventures with Peter.
So metal detecting, baby. All right.
Yeah, metal detecting, baby.
Yeah. So we have metal detecting. Let's see. I'm trying to find it in my notes. All right.
Lot 13.
Yeah, lot 13. So Gary's metal detecting with young Peter, who
Not old
Deidre is
Peter?
still convinced is like a child, or is still convinced he's like at least not old enough to drink or something. But
Not old enough to
he
drive.
is. Yeah. That's what her concern was, because they go to see Carmen Lake later, and Peter's driving, and
I
she's
was
like, is he old enough to drive? He's like in his mid-20s now. Okay, leave the kid
He's
alone.
already graduated college.
Yeah,
or
he's a
whatever,
grown dude.
and
Okay,
he's drinking, and I'm like, Peter.
he's a grown dude.
It's okay. People call us kids all the time, so
Yeah.
whatevs.
Okay.
Okay, lot 13. Like you said, Gary and Pete are out there looking for artifacts,
Yeah.
hopefully along the stone path that we have talked about.
Sure.
Gary's already scanned the area and put down flags because of the new rules.
The new rules state that he can't go and just dig anything up. So he had to get approval from Laird. He had to identify all the spots he wanted to go to first,
Mhm.
get approval from Laird, got his blessing. Then Peter went out there with his trusty little shovel
Mhm.
and got digging.
Yeah.
And they found something that was not very exciting at all first, which was like an aluminum piece of a can or
It was
something,
like
right?
trash.
Yep. He's like, bag it, tag it, trash. Okay. Next.
Next.
So what's next?
Let's see here. The second one is what I call the weird twisty item that looks like a biscuit. And
I don't get the biscuit.
it looks like those little cookie biscuit things like that I'd have with my tea or coffee. I don't know, a crumpet.
I don't know.
What's the thing? So it looks edible.
It
to
looks-
me. I mean, I don't lick things like archaeologists do, but
So this actually is oh man, I just lost it. But one of the questions I had, or one of the comments we had that I asked for earlier
Mhm.
was about that. And they said, and it was actually Connie L. And she said, what do you think of that twisty Cheeto shaped thing? So that's what she called it.
See, she's
It looks more Cheeto than biscuit to me.
okay. I would just like to point out the fact that both items are edible.
Yes.
So it
Do not eat
looks
it.
like an ancient petrified food item. Initially,
Petrified food item.
clearly we were both hungry while watching the show.
I guess so.
Okay, it's fancy. He's excited
Mhm.
and he's thinking, ooh, like this could be lead. Wait,
Yeah. Well, he's
It's
like, this is
iron.
heavy.
yeah. So
You know,
he's thinking lead
It had some girth to it.
girth.
And so, yeah, he's like so proud. He's like, man, if this is lead, it could give us so much information. He's like so stoked, and he's like getting Peter all worked up, like, yeah, this is so cool. And then he's like, well,
let's see.
we have a test we can do. And he brings out his little pinpoint, and he's like, if it beeps quickly, or what did he say?
A rapid
Yeah, if he's got
pulsing or whatever.
then it's iron. And
Mhm.
he starts tapping it, and it's like, beep, 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 beep. And he's like,
And he's
"Aw."
looking at it, and he's like, I'm not, what? This, and Peter goes, you gotta trust your tools. Way to keep them in line, Pete. Way to keep them in line.
Way to keep him in line. Yeah.
So they both get excited, and they're thinking they need to take it to Kelly to get it cleaned up and tested. And that tells me Kelly's on the island.
Kelly
Barassa.
Barassa, conservator.
Yeah, we had him set up last year in
He was in the interpretive center.
he was.
Yeah, but not anymore, I don't think.
Things have changed.
Things have changed.
Big things.
All right. So
Should we go there next?
I think we should.
All
Should
right.
we 1, 2, 3. To the archaeology trailer.
Oh man.
Batman.
Laird's Lair.
Laird's Lair. That's what Deidre is calling it in her head.
I mean, as soon as they had the archaeology trailer, instantly Dustin's like, you know what has to happen, right?
What? What did I say?
To the archaeology trailer.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah. And
So-
when we were chatting with Laird, Steve, and Scott the other day,
Mhm.
Deidre actually called Laird Batman before we
I
even knew
did.
this archaeology trailer was an official thing. And she's like, yeah, and he's got this utility belt with all these like
Different
trowels, you know, and she's like, but then we're like, oh my gosh, this is just
He's
perfect.
literally the
He's-
Batman of archaeology.
Yeah, it's
now.
like Laird's archaeology cave.
It
you know?
is. And since he is now in charge of so much
Yeah.
with the new guidelines,
Mhm.
like I mean, it's only natural. And besides, so we all saw this on what was it? From the other side of the Causeway.
On Facebook.
Yeah,
Mhm.
when this trailer came across, and we all were making fun of poor Steve because and saying it was his makeup trailer showing up, and
I was never a part of
Turns
that,
out-
Steve. Just saying.
Laird kicked him out because
Bye.
he wanted his. He has his own archaeology trailer. It's amazing.
That's funny.
All
So
right.
Jeff in the chat says pow.
I agree.
Nobody said Biff or Twang or whatever. What are all the other Batman things?
Amisha says, "Laird man,
Is Tony in the chat?
Tony."
Tony Sampson right there. Hi, Tony. What's up? Good to see you, bro.
Tony, you rock.
Yeah, he does rock. Yeah, so
go to the
anyway, we're in the
archaeology
archaeology trailer now, and we're super stoked to be there. We had Spooner, the Swamp Doctor,
Mhm.
Laird, Rick, Gary, and Billy all present. And wow, we totally missed what they're there for. We didn't talk about it whatsoever.
No, because there's this one where they take it
yeah,
to
there's
Kelly.
there's two. That's right. So
There's
I'm
like
out of
3
order.
times that we go to the archaeology trailer. I'm sorry, we were just so excited to
All right,
talk about.
yeah,
the
let's talk about the
archaeology
metal
trailer.
find from Lot 13. That's right.
Okay, so
Wait, let's do this one more time. To the archaeology trailer. Rick,
Laird man.
Laird man. Okay. You're a weirdo.
Misha gets credit for that.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Amisha Laird man. I love it. All right. So Rick, Gary, Peter are all there. They meet with Kelly Barassa,
Mm-hmm.
and they're there to find that or talk about that metal find from Lot 13, like we talked about.
Which, by deductive reasoning, my dear Watson, was found on July 6th
How do you know?
because the bag said so. I
Okay.
took note. And it was they said a twisted rod. I was going biscuit or Cheeto, found by G. Drayton. And if you would like to know the artifact name, it's Oak 9-Artifact 0106. I brought you all the information.
That was probably the 106th artifact they already found.
Yeah, it means I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Oof. And that's episode 1. All right. So Kelly said that this piece is very unusual, and
Mhm.
Gary says that he initially thought it was lead due to its weight, but noted that the pinpointer metal detector suggested otherwise.
Mhm.
Said iron. And Kelly was like, "Oh yeah,
You're
there's a
onto
little bit of
something
iron
there."
in there." But they went to this new machine they've got,
Mm-hmm.
the XRF. Do you remember what that stands for?
X-ray.
X-ray fluorescent.
No,
or no?
radio random fluorescent.
No, I got it
I
here.
like random fluorescent.
No, it's the X-ray. Yeah, it's X-ray fluorescent spectrometer.
Oh, XRF, much just
X,
be like,
XFS.
I'm just making up initials over here.
No, it's a machine that can tell them the composition of the
The
of
trace
whatever
elements,
whatever
right?
they put in front of it, right?
Mhm.
Whatever they're using it for. And yeah, You all right there?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. So they put it under the XRF machine. The analysis says that there is a certain percentage of iron. So he's not completely wrong, but it's only 1.47%, like the tiniest amount.
It is.
What's Laird, or not Laird? Gary, I think you need to get a new pinpointer.
No, it means it's pinpointing the rapid
1.7%.
beeping. I mean, I don't know enough about metal detectors if it's gonna like give you a different beeping for lead, but it's like it's heavy. That's why he was so confused. Pete said you got to trust your tools, but I mean, what can you do?
Yeah. Anywho, the other the primary metal type is lead. So
Copy that.
guess what, Gary? You were right.
Good job.
Almost
Gary.
90%, 89.79% lead.
Mhm.
So that makes everybody like stoked, like really excited. Kelly says he's interested in learning more about this particular design. We all are, because like and nobody can figure out what it is.
No, Kelly's
Everybody
never
has
seen
different
anything
ideas.
like it. He seems excited.
I wonder if it was like, what if it's like a cross of some sort that like the bottom was kind of broken off because it had that little hole in the top, you know?
I
It
was
could've just
going
been a
like
big decorative cross.
the end of a cane. Like it would have to be a topper if the only one side had a hole in it, right? So you would use a stake or something in the middle to put.
Could have been a wire in the middle
together
to hold things together.
It could have been a Cheeto that was petrified, but we don't know. Okay, really, it's made of lead, and you know,
It's lead.
so
It's
we
not
know
a Cheeto,
that.
okay?
Maybe it's a Cheeto form.
Oh my gosh, you're too much sometimes.
You're too much all the time.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, Rick asked Kelly if it's not too much for him to ask him to keep track of the trace elements in future lead finds. Smart move, Rick. Smart move.
Because he says, you know what I'm thinking.
Yeah, laser ablation.
That's right. And if they can keep track of all these trace elements, wouldn't it be great if they did find more and more lead? They are keeping track of this, and they could group together where these came from. That would be awesome. It could be more evidence to specifically what's going on.
It could be. Could
From
it be?
where? Part of the who?
Could it be?
Could.
Yeah. Like you said, Rick just wants to keep track of everything. Could help with future. And he explained that the laser ablation could give like basically a fingerprint of the lead. Yep. Like we've seen before, and they can learn where it came from. And he did note that if they could do that with iron objects, they'd be a lot further in their journey to discovery.
Yeah.
But they can't. And he did note that, like the lead cross, they did determine that it was Southern Mediterranean. And some people were like, Southern Mediterranean, like I saw on Facebook, wasn't it Southern France? And like the Mediterranean touches the south of France. So
Yeah, it's within that area.
Yeah.
Tobias will tell us what's up.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see some more of him this
That'd be cool to
season.
see Tobias, see
I
how
liked
he's doing.
him.
It'd be, I'm going to predict if he comes back, he has facial hair this time.
Yeah, because it's quarantine. And everybody
see.
seems to think, that's a thing.
Yeah, we'll see. Gary says that the $1 million question is, what is it? And Kelly says that he has no idea. But like we said, he noted that small hole into the one end. And Clotworthy goes on to explain that due to COVID-19, they may have to wait months to get access to a laser ablation device. So that's kind of a bummer. But I mean,
but if you can group them based off of it, then potentially, you're shortening the time than needing to send off so many pieces. But
perhaps.
Should we talk about when Gary and Pete went out searching again? When Gary and Pete out searching again.
Yeah, so they went metal detecting on lot 17, right?
Down
Is that
to the
correct?
ground to get out of the rain.
Boom, boom. So that's Gary and Peter go marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah.
To
Something
lot
like
17.
They go hurrah, hurrah.
Hurrah.
Okay. They're looking for evidence of the stone pathway between the swamp and the money pit.
Yes.
And it's the same process as lot 13, with like Gary had put down his little flags everywhere.
Yep. Get the flags down. They know where they're going. There's a plan.
Laird checked it out.
Laird's probably got a grid. Know what's going on.
Laird checked it out, gave him the approval. So they went out there to do their thing. Peter did dig up the first hit And it was a modern nail.
Wah, wah, wah.
I think Gary said it's just
I
a
need
warm
that
up.
sound effect. Like a
Wah,
wah,
wah.
wah, wah.
Okay, sure. That'd be fun.
I am the sound effect.
The second hit was a piece of scrap lead. And Gary says that's not what they're looking for. And I'm thinking,
Wait,
lead?
isn't that exactly what you're looking for?
Yeah. Why aren't you excited about this lead?
Okay, so we have found scrap lead, right, all
Yeah, like
over
those
because it would be
shavings.
used for like patching boats and such. But Rick just said, let's keep track of the lead. Scrap lead too, guys. You have a nifty machine right there.
Yeah, but Gary knows what he's talking about, so he probably knew it was like
He just
something
wants a
modern,
Bobby
and he just didn't
Dazzler.
say the word modern. You know,
Maybe.
I don't
On
know.
to flag number 3.
Yeah, dig 3. So Peter scoops out an iron band.
With a square hole.
What?
Huh.
Yeah, and Gary says, I think I know a guy that might want to look at this.
I think I might know a guy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, you removed his sound clip, didn't you?
What?
Well, looky here.
Oh man.
She
Yeah,
removed
I
his
have
sound
it
clip from the
around
soundboard.
here.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Sorry. That's the best I got.
Who's that?
That was Aaron, which we haven't seen.
Oh,
Aaron, we miss you.
Oh yeah, girl.
he missed you too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Aaron misses me too.
I'm
Oh, I
sure we'll
wanted to
catch
go
up with
on
Aaron
that
at some point.
Dig. We just can't afford February. That sucks.
Well, I'm sure we'll catch up with Aaron at some point.
Yes, Aaron.
All right, so
Well.
field trip.
Yep.
To
Are we going on a field trip next?
yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, let's go on a field trip.
And Pete's
then we'll finish with
driving.
the swamp.
Apparently, he's old enough to drive and drink, not at the same time.
Who?
Peter.
Yeah, so they go to Centerville, Nova Scotia. They want to show the iron band that they found on lot 15 to Mr. Carmen Lake. Well, looky here.
Well, look at here.
I can't do it I can't do it justice.
Mm-hmm.
So they hand it over, and Carmen takes a quick look at it, and he's like, yes, it's a handmade iron band.
Yeah, no doubt in his mind.
Now, with the width and thickness, it's a band off of a wagon wheel.
Yeah, off
that
of
was
what
cool,
he
man.
says, like the center portion that would have held it together.
Yeah, cool.
Center hub.
The hub.
It's the
There you go.
hubcap of the wheel.
It's the hubcap of the 1600s, apparently. Yeah, he says that this is the part that would be around the center, and the time period indicated early use of a cart like this, and would be about 1650 to no later than 1790.
Yeah, Doug's excited. You know,
That's kind of a big range, though. 140 years. I mean, that's a lot. That's
he
a big
hasn't
range.
even tested it. Like
I
he
know.
doesn't
It's-
know trace element. He's
know.
literally in a blacksmithing, and they're like, "Hey, can
And
you
he's
tell
looking
me
at it.
exactly what this is?"
Yeah.
Oh, it's off a wagon wheel, and it's the hubcap of the 1600s. That's not good enough for you.
No, it is. I'm going to
Okay, you
say,
need to calm down.
I'm going to guess it's probably around 1650, though.
only
I was a
because
betting
you
man.
want it to be.
Yeah, I do want it to be.
Okay. Well, Doug goes on to tell him about the fact that, you're going to need some big wheeled items to get across the roads.
Doug was there? Oh, yeah.
It was literally Doug being taken on a field trip by
Okay.
Pete.
I was just, I was so just focused on Peter. I thought Gary was with him in my head or something.
So you thought Pete went by himself?
No, sorry, Doug. My apologies. Yes,
Yeah,
Doug.
you better apologize to Doug.
Or he'll never come on our podcast.
Back
So
on track here.
back on track. Doug noted that this was found between the Stone Road and what they've uncovered so far in the Money Pit, and it could tie the two areas together.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, Carmen asked where the rest of the cart was.
That made me laugh.
Yeah.
Get him, Carmen.
Yeah, Peter said that is a good question. And Carmen says that they may be narrowing down the time period and the activity in the area. So
Correct.
that's fun. That's really good.
That's
to know.
fun.
Yeah. And a little
That's
side
a blast.
Yeah, there was a little side interview there with Rick, and it says this is the kind of evidence they're looking for. A high-wheeled cart. They're associated with stone roads and a stone path. So it's perfect.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And Doug noted that this was the first time they found that type of artifact on the island. And then they say, peace out, Carmen.
And he tells him go. Basically, Carmen tells him get back to work and go find the rest of the whack.
That's specifically a job for Peter.
Yeah. Get to work, Peter.
Yeah, so we should go to the swamp. What do
Yeah,
you think?
I concur.
All right. What happened in the swamp this episode?
Oh, so we have Rick, Craig, Laird, Billy, Gary in the swamp area. They're making a plan for excavation around the stone road / potential wharf path, all the things there.
Yeah.
Laird explains that they are going to excavate that entire area there in the corner. So Laird's in charge, per usual. Gary asks him how deep they're going to go, and Laird says they'll go as deep as it takes, and Gary's stoked about that.
If you got the okay from the archaeologist, I mean,
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
What? And Billy's excited because he was like, dude, I'm in, and starts digging.
Yeah, like right at the beginning, as soon as like Rick pulls up or like comes up to the swamp, though, he does say to Billy, I see you brought your favorite trowel.
Billy's own. Well, we saw him use a smaller shovel at like one point last year.
Yeah,
but anyways,
Scoop's more fun.
Of course. And everybody's already received permissions to excavate further in that area. So if they've already received permission for it, because poor Laird probably has to submit so much more paperwork, which is really what his lair is for, then they can you might as well start where you get your first paperwork back from, right?
Of course.
So they start digging, pulling back the first layer and layer. Laird, layer, and layer. Craig finds another piece of a barrel. Finds a piece.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're looking kind of through like a mound. Like they're like digging into the side of this mound, right?
Well, they're pulling back and then they're putting all the spoils over to the side, because later we see them go back digging through that, right? They find what Craig finds a piece of a barrel. We knew they found the top to the kegs last year. And Laird comes over with his trowel. Oh, yeah. Looks good. And Rick comes walking over, looking like he's holding multiple pieces of
of a
barrel.
Yeah.
And I'm going,
he's like, hey, Craig, look what I found.
Yeah, let me one up you.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, where were you, Rick? Because did he just like throw that one over there to Craig, like, hey, let's let Craig find one? And then he's like, ha, I like 12
I found the rest.
I found the rest.
Yeah.
And
it
it made me laugh, because I'm like, where were you, Rick? Just finding random pieces and not telling the archaeologist and pulling them out before Steve can mark them in the ground? Rick's going rogue.
Yeah, well, they found a few interesting things in that mound.
Yes.
Yeah, well, before I get to that, they did find like the topper of the barrel that had like some red paint on it.
Yeah, well, at least we assume it's the topper because it had the peg.
Yeah. And so that was exciting. But I think Rick said, yeah, we can get that paint tested. Can you?
Well, I don't know. You probably can't. I'll tell you, if it has lead in it, it's probably before 1970. I
hope it's before 1979.
I'm just telling you that's over here, at least when they had to stop putting lead in paint. And if it is leaded paint, which is likely, you can test lead, right? So, bada bing, bada boom, take that.
Maybe.
So maybe you can test it.
We'll see. All right. So then Rick finds the really fun thing, like this like leg, this peg leg thing. Right?
Are we even looking at the same? Sorry, carry on.
All right. So Rick finds like I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
in the pile.
It looks like a peg leg to me. I'm thinking
that's exactly what we both thought. We're like, it's a peg leg.
I'm like, is that Captain Kidd's peg leg? Like, is that what that is?
I even Googled like actual peg legs, right? I'm not kidding. Like, peg legs really were a thing, guys.
Yeah, and it was like nicely carved.
Yeah,
nicely. It looked sturdy. If I was missing a leg and I attached that to me, I bet you'd give me good stability.
Well, yeah, and it's like, look, like there's something in here, and you would attach it, which would make it stop from going up. And I'm thinking, yeah, it's kind of like a leather sleeve, and it goes in, and then you put it in so that you could walk. And so I'm thinking pirate leg. Laird just says something to do with ships. Peg legs were also on ships.
Yeah, they were. And then, last year they found the 1492, how Susan elegantly put it, when Columbus lost his favorite shoe on Oak Island. I mean, they're finding footwear, peg legs. What's going to be next?
Oh my gosh.
What?
Remember when Laird said in the interview there would be
More
another footwear find?
It's a peg leg. We just figured it out.
Oh my gosh.
Could it be?
I think we just figured it out.
Yeah, if you didn't listen to that interview or chat we had with Laird, Steve, and Scott, go back and listen to it.
He said another footwear find. We figured it out. It's a peg leg. I need to message Laird stat.
Amazing.
Tell him I know his secret.
All right. So as Tom Burns elegantly put it in the chat, back to the archaeology.
Back to the Batcave.
Well, the archaeology trailer. Laird Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say to the archaeology trailer by Laird Man. It works so perfectly.
It's pretty good.
Oh, it's totally a peg leg.
Yeah, it's a peg leg. Oh wait, no. Okay, Tom, you made me jump the gun because we went to the archaeology trailer for something that we haven't talked about being found yet.
That's
all right. So
true. I'm sorry.
Gary finds something metal in the swamp first. Okay. Or in the southeast corner of the swamp, and it appeared to be a cog of some sort. Like it looked like a sprocket from the Jetsons,
And they kept calling it a gear or a cog, and it was gold in color.
Yeah, it's Gary's favorite color. He's excited about it, and he's like, "I'm not going to say the G word, but maybe." And so they are excited about it. They do talk about that pocket watches had been made since the 1500s, and who knows? Maybe it's just an old pocket watch. Maybe there's more pieces yet to be found. And so, also, any other piece that could be found, even if this isn't the G word, GOLD, maybe other pieces are. And then we go to the archaeology trailer. Laird Man.
Oh, man.
Okay.
They are getting sick of us. Don't care.
No, Dr. Spooner, Laird. Well, I should say Laird first. It's Laird's trailer. Laird Niven.
Laird Man.
Laird Niven, Ian Spooner, Rick Lagina, Gary Drayton, Billy Gerhart, all in the archaeology trailer in Laird's lair. And they're going to clean that cog with an ultrasonic cleaning machine. Clotworthy explained how that worked. And that's very similar to the machine, or probably the same machine that they used last year with Kelly Barassa when he cleaned up that knob that they found that was the gold colored thing.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure it's the same thing. I mean, it's what they use in jewelry shops to clean stuff.
Yeah.
So you don't damage gold.
Yep. It just
because it's soft.
And it gets it nice and clean. All right. So Spooner says that they're going to look at the metal with the X-ray fluorescent spectrometer.
Yep. The XRF.
Which will be able to tell its composition. We talked about that a little bit earlier. And what were the findings?
That it wasn't gold.
Wah wah.
Yeah. So the combination of the metals that were there indicated that it was brass, which was like the pole that came out of the swamp, right? The little knob.
Copper and zinc.
Yep.
Yeah. So, is what it is.
Laird has a nice perspective.
Does he?
So just because it isn't gold doesn't mean it's not important.
Very true. Very true. Rick was ready to move on because Rick's like, well, the coolest thing is just having the XFS device on hand.
Right.
He's like, meh.
He's like, I'm over it.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he was excited about it too. But all right, we do have a war room with Terry Duveau. He was on the island last year looking at that swamp road or the stone road in the swamp.
Yeah, the stone road, and he was like blown away by it.
Yeah, and if you remember, and they showed it, he had been there, I think, season 5, and he took them to
He's been on
Overton,
the Overton
Nova Scotia
stone
to check out the Overton stone, and he has theories. He has a lot of theories, but one of them is that Portuguese had something to do with what happened on Oak Island.
Yes.
So pretty cool, pretty fun. Yeah, so who's all in the war room for that? Do you have a list?
Yeah, I have Laird, Rick, Craig, Marty, Charles, Doug, Steve, Billy, Scott.
Oh my gosh. Full house.
It was a party. because everybody wants to talk to the historian full of knowledge.
Yeah, I didn't write it down, but he's like the director of archaeology in the Northeast Corridor or something like that.
He's something rather important.
Yeah, so you
He's
got to listen to Terry DeVoe. All right,
that.
and I'm sorry
And he
that
wears like a Indiana Jones hat, so you
Mhm.
know he's serious.
Yeah, and I'm sorry if I didn't get your title right, but we know that you're.
I know
important.
you didn't get his title right.
So he does say that the stone road blew him away, like you said.
Mhm.
He was intrigued, so he wanted to look into it more himself. He found aerial imagery that outlined the areas on like a map that they showed.
Yeah,
Do you have that?
I do.
Teacher might be bringing
So-
it up on the screen for our live viewers.
Are you? Oh yes, this.
How cool is that? All right, so while she does
Just keep
that,
talking about it and all.
yeah, so she's pulling up the thing that
Hopefully.
Terry DeVoe brought to Oak Island, and so he noted that he found the lines on the sea floor to the west of the stone road,
Mhm.
and he noted that there were like lines that he can make out and boulders.
Yeah, so there are a bunch of boulders
Mhm.
that seem to kind of make up lines based off the clearest imaging, right? So
Yeah.
he's showing us that the gold ones, good choice, were the boulders, right? And we can kind of see where they line up, which give us those horizontal and vertical lines, which
Yeah.
happen to dun 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 line up with the stone road.
Yes.
So could it be a wharf?
Could it be? I don't know. Like it's he said it could be a large, like long stone dock.
Mm-hmm.
So could it be? It could. I mean, the way that he lined those up and was able to draw the line from the stone road to this, what he's showing us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a straight line. I mean,
yeah, and he explains, it's narrow and would like you'd need a staging area, and we've seen kind of like the square area that they dove on before, but couldn't really see. But then we've also got what's way further back in the swamp, which we shouldn't forget about, which was the paved area, right?
Yeah.
So
dating back to the 1200s,
and
medieval, baby.
And Steve's like, yep. He's so quick to agree, like, this is what it is. I feel like maybe he's been saying that a while.
Could be.
Because he sounds a bit like, dude, this is what I've been saying. It made me laugh.
Yeah. So Terry said that if there had been a narrow dock in this area, it could be a staging area. And this type of dock, if it was made in the 1500s, the Portuguese come to mind because they could have made things like that up to 1583 in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, he explains to us that that's what he's used to seeing from there. So
yeah, good stuff.
I trust you, Terry. Trust Terry.
Which one?
In Terry, we trust.
Matheson?
I guess they're both talking about rocks.
Yes, I trust both Terrys.
I trust in the Terrys. T squared.
All right, so Terry says that is tantalizing, and there could be evidence near the shore that could help them. Terry was also looking at some old photographs from the 1930s that could show the stone pathway that they found the prior year.
Correct.
Do you have that picture? That's
do.
it's like that black and white one.
Yeah, I have a couple of things.
Yeah, so like so I don't know where this is in relation to a lot of other things because I can't really see the swamp. Where's the swamp though?
So
is that the edge of the swamp on the left?
This would be Smith's Cove, way over here on your left, because
I
this
see.
is the money pit area.
Yeah, so that could look, there's a bunch of rocks kind of like in a row there on this imagery that Terry DeVoe showed us. And could it be part of the stone pathway that they found leading up out of the swamp? Maybe.
It is really defined. Like if you look at it, and I've seen these pictures before. You can find them online.
Yeah.
But
of course you have.
You can't really, it's hard. And they're taken with an airplane because of the giant shadow of an airplane on the ground over there.
Yep.
So yeah, go into Nova Scotia's archives. You can find all this fun stuff.
Very cool.
But I mean, that's really defined, like without any trees around it, or it feels pretty good.
Like it looks like it hasn't been used in a long time at this point, obviously, and it's being covered up by time.
Yeah. Because if I could turn back.
That was last night.
Oh yeah, that was last night.
And 2 became 1.
Yeah.
So anyway, Terry had some interesting points and interesting ideas, and I'm sure the team's going to look up, check up on them, and
they all seem very excited.
Well, why wouldn't you be? So Rick thanks Terry for his input and his efforts. And did you have something to?
Oh, I was just gonna be like.
And so I'm pretty excited.
Are you?
Spooner was pretty excited.
Oh, about that? Is that where he said that?
No.
Oh.
But it was I had it on the soundboard.
Well, my thing on the soundboard is gonna be this.
Oh, bingo.
Bingo. All right. He didn't say that this episode at all.
No, he didn't.
All right. So then we go back to the swamp, do we not?
We've already talked about all things swamp. I was recapping one time in the swamp, and you were recapping a different time in the swamp. We have officially hit all the swampage.
So are we done? We have the war room.
We have one
end?
more war room.
Well, you know what? Before we do that, let's go back to the archaeology trailer. All right, now let's go to the war room. Do we have a war room sound?
No.
Might be coming, guys. We'll see. All right, so final war room of the episode.
Okay, so we have Rick, Marty, Craig, Scott, Steve,
Dr. P.
They're in person, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then we have Dr. Spooner, Dr. Lukeman, and Dr. Poufon.
Dr. P.
Dr. P. I'm so
Pierre.
sorry, man. Pierre.
No, Pierre.
Pierre.
Maybe it is pronounced Pierre, but like in English, like American English, it's Pier. So Pierre.
Yeah. No.
I don't know.
And people mess up my name all the time, so I feel especially bad about this.
I know.
So we gotta get it figured out.
So Dr. P is given a presentation, and he notes the holes at the money pit: C1, F4, K7, and E8 on his little diagram.
Bingo.
You got that? She's going to pull it up for the live viewers. And if you're not a live viewer, maybe consider checking it out. You know, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of people in the chat. Everybody loves each other, right? And we're all friends.
We're all one big happy family.
Great. Yeah. All right. So he noted that these little boreholes, or these boreholes, are where gold is present. And is elevated. So it's either coming from till, the bedrock, or there's something buried there. I think the guys liked hearing that.
Wide range,
well,
right?
Marty said, wow. That's what he likes to hear.
Well, don't we all?
Yeah. All right. So, C1, just to the south of C1 is where you'd find F4. And K7 is further south and to the east. E8 is kind of like east of and between C1 and F4. So Dr. P noted that all of those together are only about 25 to 50 feet away from each other. So it's kind of concentrated. And I guess that's the reason why they're really concentrated on that C1 cluster, because these would fall into that cluster.
Yeah, I mean, that would
at least C1 and F4 would.
Sense. I'd be curious to know, maybe I missed it, what the depths were as far as like F4, E8, and K7, because we are in the Dunfield area, and K7's in the chapel shaft, right? In that area. I find it interesting that H6.5 between them, like right on the edge of the Dunfield dig and the chapel shaft, is below detection. But there could be something obstructing it, or water that's not moving right there. And it could be, how deep is it?
Oh my gosh, there's F.25-9.75. My favorite borehole.
It's my favorite borehole.
I thought you hated it.
I do. I do.
Yeah, so we're just for audio only listeners, we're looking at this map. But yeah, it's really intriguing. I can't wait to see what they do here. I wonder how wide that. Okay, you see the bottom of the Dunfield dig on the diagram, that circle.
Yes.
I wonder how wide that circle is.
I'm 99.9% positive I could tell you if I just pull up my map, because everything's to scale and it's in 5 foot by 5 foot grid areas. And considering that scale line on this map says 25 feet, which, if I had to guess, was pretty close to.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even look at that, to be honest. Like, I missed it completely, even though it's right there.
Like
it's literally
the giant
says 25
line,
feet. Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's less than 25 feet wide.
Yeah, it's probably about 10.
That would be my guess.
I mean, you could fit a nice 10-foot wide caisson right in that spot.
You could. Bingo.
Oh,
Bingo.
yeah. I mean, Terry would be down with that.
Sure,
Both
he would.
Terrys.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm stoked though. I mean, this is great news. And let me see. I think my notes got turned back to the beginning. That's not good.
Did you turn back time?
Basically. All right. So those C1, F4, K7, E8, they are present with gold, and or at least elevated levels. What you're seeing now. Pierre noted that the holes where the gold was detected, I already said that, about 50 feet or less from each other. And if he were a betting man, he would bet on the area right there, I think the F4 area. And looking at this data, they're all kind of close to the bullseye. So pretty exciting. Dr. Lukeman says that F4 is the biggest outlier of all the wells that they're looking at because, it's got all these elevated levels of these different alloys.
Exactly.
And Marty says that it's a standout here by far.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a standout because of it also having silver in it. So F4, as far as gold goes, had 0.044. And this is parts per billion.
Yeah.
But it also had silver, right? Which is 0.042. So and that's also parts per billion. That's pretty close to each other, right?
Yep.
So almost equal parts silver as it is gold. And you have to consider that gold is supposedly not soluble in the water.
Yep.
But silver is, telling me in turn that there's probably more gold than silver. And then if you look, you have copper and zinc alloys, which
make brass,
well, they make brass, but it's also going to be mixed into these other elements depending on what's down there.
Yeah.
And we know those, are going to break down and show up. So for it to be so elevated, that says something. And he gives us a comparison. So like if we're talking about copper and zinc in seawater, copper is what? At 14 parts per billion. And zinc's at 90 parts, but we're elevated even over that, a pretty decent amount in those two. And then same thing in river water. So that says a lot, in my opinion.
Yeah, I got something to say about that in just a second, but I do need to scroll back up because Barb, our friend from Washington State, said that Terry Duveau is with the New England Antiquities Research Association. I'm pretty sure he's the leader of that. So
I believe that. He's a smart guy.
Yeah. All right. So what I have to say, the thing that really caught my eye looking at this diagram that we're looking at right now with the water chemistry, silver says 0.42. But then if you look at seawater, it's 0.042. You look at the seawater and it's 0.100. And that's like regular seawater is supposed to have more than what's showing up over here. But this is not where they found the silver either. Like where they found the silver was north of C1 and this is south of C1.
Yeah. And then the other place they got the silver hits was southeast.
Yeah.
Now, I don't happen to have that map or those results handy. It'd be really interesting to compare those locations.
Yeah, we're talking about the findings from the last episode of season 8.
Yes.
So yeah, man. Whew, I don't know.
because right now what they're just showing as far as water chemistry with the breakdown is only where they found gold.
Yeah. And this gold is impressive because it's, like you said, it's something that you're not really supposed to find leaching in water, or at least the levels are not going to be easy to find, I'm thinking, because, that's what they described to us last season. But it's 4 times more than what normal seawater would have. And almost 9 times more than river water. So, I mean, it's way elevated. I mean, that's a lot.
It is.
And it would need to, if there's a lot down there, I mean, it could only be a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's one thing you brought up earlier about that river.
So we know, and we've seen it show up like with Corey and Mull and Chris Morford and the theory with Poussin. So the Gold River is just, was it northwest of where they're at. And we know that there was a gold rush to the area from Europe to the Gold River in that area because, well, gold.
Because you can find gold there.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the same as what we see out west where we're at in the US where, there was a lot of that, but there still was a gold rush. So, and we're not that far from it. However, I think back to Craig and what he was saying about if gold and silver and these alloys weren't still there, would they still be, they wouldn't still be leaching in the water in that amount. I would be curious to know what samples look like directly from the Gold River area, not just any river water, but specifically the area where they saw such a increase, right? I'm sure plenty of people have thought about that, but it'd be worth comparing. And it's not like it's showing up in every hole, which is also something Marty has spoken about.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
Well, I like the idea.
Thank you.
I like it a lot. So well done. So there is gold in the water. It's coming from somewhere. That's what Dr. P says, and Spooner concurs.
I concur, Spooner.
Yeah, Rick says that this is great news, and it's great science, and he knows that both Marty and Craig in particular love the science along with the rest of the team. Marty says that he can't add anything to that, but he says that to his brother, couple of weeks to gold, Rick.
Calm down is what he's telling his brother.
Calm down. Yeah, he literally says calm down.
Yeah.
And
which is funny coming from Rick and not Marty.
Yeah, it is funny. I think back to season 1. And it was like Rick was talking to Dan Blankenship.
Keep going.
Yeah, Rick was like talking to Dan Blankenship, like, oh, we'll just pump the water in and coins will start popping out like of 10x. Like he was so confident it was going to be just a quick thing. But now he's just like, whoa. He's in Dan Blankenship's position now where Marty is more like Marty is newly into Rick's position where he's real excited about prospects of gold and everything. And Rick's like, whoa. Calm down. Let's see what we got. Let's do the test. Let's get there.
Yeah. So this made me think of something I was going to bring up earlier. So when we were rewatching, I think, this was season 1. Maybe it was season 2. But when Rick, Marty, and Craig are meeting with Dan, and it's like when they're wanting to update him on the swamp, and he literally puts his finger on where to dig in the swamp because he has stood on what was this platform.
Dan said this?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, like I have it. If you
let's do it.
Like,
why not? We're here.
Let's see if the audio oops.
She's pulling up a video. Don't worry, audio listeners. It's going to have sound, so you can hear it, and we'll describe what happens.
Okay, I just want to bring
At least
All right.
hopefully all my audio is working.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. All right, let's press play and see what it's see what they say. This is from season 1, episode 1. Or just
I don't
season
think
1?
it's episode 1. But it's from that first
All
season.
right, cool. Oh, no sound. Oh, bummer.
Well, that'll be a bummer.
Well, there was no sound. Wah wah.
I don't know why.
Can you hear us now?
For in chat. As long as, well, there was no sound for us.
I heard it.
Oh. No, I meant for you and me. Actually, I might be able to do it.
Oh, you might have to mute us, right?
No, I did mute us, which wasn't.
Well, maybe we bring this back up during next pregame.
Yeah, we can definitely.
Anyway, he's pointing literally at the southeast corner of the swamp in this clip that we're showing. And that's literally where the stone road is.
Yeah.
And where they're doing their work now, 9 years later.
I even have a shot of Rick like in the next war room saying right here, and his finger is on the road.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's
Sigh.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Did you see Marty's shirt? It said Coach Marty on it.
That's amazing.
Coach Marty. That's what I'm gonna call him when we meet him.
What's up, Coach?
Yeah, what's up, Coach? Yeah, so sorry you couldn't hear that, friends.
Yeah, we can do it on the next pregame. I mean, it might work now, but
yeah. So
we're gonna.
Yeah. Anywho, we're gonna wrap up the war room. They all laugh, and after Rick tells him to calm down, and he said, "I told you that Bravo Tango is coming at some point, right?" And then we have this nice little wrap up at the end of the episode. I'm gonna press the button, okay, babe? All right.
I would be lying if I said it wasn't impactful. I've believed since I was a little guy, and it means something to me on that level. That here's the proof. It justifies everything, right?
Gold is where it started. The search for gold is what drove this way back 230 years ago almost now. So nobody really found any direct evidence of gold until now. Is this impactful? It's hugely impactful. It looks like there's some gold here. So it vindicates Rick and I guess a little bit me.
This is summed up by 2 words, really. Sempre avanti. Let's keep moving forward.
Maybe we get to the bottom of this.
Maybe.
I think they're going to get to the bottom of this.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me, though.
No,
they're always moving forward.
They are moving forward.
So,
you know what Steve would say?
I'll grab my GPS.
I think the treasure's in the money pit, but I think the story's in the swamp.
Okay. Well, that's what he'll say. Okay.
Sorry, that really struck me on the coming forward. I know you wanted to end with that one, but I agree, and I think Rick would agree.
The treasure is in the money pit. The story's in the swamp.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because, I mean, there is gold leaching in the money pit. But they do point out they got to test the till.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. All right, well, that was it. That was a recap of season 9, episode 1 of The Curse of Oak Island.
Bananas.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was worth the wait. I'm so happy that the show is back.
It's good stuff.
Our favorite show. So good. So awesome. We do have Next Time On, but it's not really Next Time On. It's like this season on The Curse of Oak Island.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about that at all? Or
I didn't take notes on it. It came at me hard and fast. And then
you want me to run it down? Or do you
run it down real quick.
So we have Marty arriving on Oak Island,
Mhm.
and he's literally saying, "We're back, Oak Island, old friend." And then we have Gary and Michael John out metal detecting, and they're apparently digging up coins, or at least one coin.
Cha-ching.
Rick says that's the aha to Laird and Miriam out in the swamp. Then we have Rick saying that he still believes there's answers in the swamp, and he could be seen lifting a huge piece of timber.
What was that? He was like carrying a whole tree. Will someone please stop Rick?
Yeah. Okay, team lift. Have you ever heard of a team lift?
Yeah.
Captain Marty, go help your brother. Or is it, wait, was it Captain? No, what did I say?
He's wearing a red shirt. We could make him captain.
No,
Coach.
Coach Marty. Yeah, there you go. My bad. Yeah, Steve says that this path leads to the money pit. That's a good one. Craig and Gary are observing Miriam with an artifact that she calls indigenous.
Yeah, I think it was some. Well, maybe it was pottery.
Yeah, I know.
That's an all stop, yo.
I know. It's like, wow, but then, oh no.
Yeah.
Because in the next scene, it has Laird in the war room saying that the Department of Culture and Heritage is asking them to stop down. Rick says immediately, and it's like, no. Like Laird is even like rubbing his eyes at that point. He's like, it looks like he's like torn, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. He's like, I don't know.
Poor Laird. Know what he's thinking?
What?
Not more paperwork.
Yeah. Everyone's going to blame me for this. Laird, we don't blame you, bro.
We don't blame you. We're giving you a utility belt.
Yeah, sure. All right. So Marty angrily says, the more we cooperate, the more of our island we lose.
Marty's going rogue.
He said, we're going to do what's right. We're going to continue doing what's right, but we're going to look after our own rights too. Right.
Marty's ready to fight because he's sure it's there. So get him in the ring, guys.
Yeah. Marty also says that they're going to go bigger and they're going to go harder. And when we see him, he says that they're running out of time. And he actually shows him running. And then
he didn't get the share meme. Because if I could turn back.
No. Yeah, he doesn't have that extra hour today. They've got big work to do up there, and you get to see Marty in the excavator. Marty loves the excavator.
He does.
He's like, Billy, I know this is your thing.
Peace
out. This is mine.
Out.
He's like, I'm gonna give the wallet to myself.
That's right.
Yeah. Gary says, "Oh, look at that," and we hear Marty say, "Perfect." Marty says that nobody has found evidence of gold until now, and we have ancient Spanish gold. And Rick says, "That's huge."
Maybe he's talking about the ark. Maybe it was bigger than he expected.
Yeah, Rick just finishes with, "I want to find the answers." That's it. That's the end of this week.
Yep.
So, oh my goodness, so much fun.
So much fun.
What a great episode.
Know what we still need to do?
What?
Our Clotworthy moments.
Clotworthies.
Woo woo.
You guys miss Clotworthy?
If you don't know who Robert Clotworthy is, that's a problem.
He is the narrator of Ancient Aliens.
And the Curse of Oak Island.
Oh, and the Curse of Oak Island
is much more important.
As far as our podcast is concerned, yes.
As far as a lot of
like
everything.
And Ancient Astronaut Theorists would also say yes. All right. So yes, we have Clotworthies. What are the contenders for this week? Okay. Oh, wait, before you do that, do we say how you vote? Oh, that's afterward. Okay, my bad.
Sorry, we're not used to this.
All right, what's number one?
Part of a wooden keg barrel found next to the remains of the believed stone wharf.
Keg barrel, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that Clotworthy moment is up against this one.
A stone pathway extending from the massive stone ship's wharf in the swamp.
Stone pathway. So we got a pathway versus a keg barrel. Which will win? That's up to you. How you vote is you will go to Facebook and find our group, Oak Island, or could it be an Oak Island group? Is that it?
Yes.
And if you go to facebook.com/Oak Island Podcast, that's our Facebook page.
Yep.
And you can find info of how to get to that group from that page.
Correct.
That's the only way you're going to be able to vote for Clotworthy moments this year, because it's easier to do it there than Twitter.
I was going to say, did you just throw Twitter to the curb?
It's easier and looks nicer on Facebook.
Okay,
And,
gotta find us on the face place.
Yeah, but if you want to tweet at us, feel free. I mean, it's twitter.com/Oak Island Podcast. Right? We're still there.
Oak Island Pod.
Oh, my bad.
See, you don't even know our handle.
Twitter.com/Oak Island Pod.
Yes.
Yeah, but hey, we're not wrapping up yet. There is a couple other things that we need to get to.
A little bit of housekeeping.
Well, no, we had that thing earlier where Terry, we mentioned it earlier. Terry Matheson did little air quotes, and we had a little competition, not really competition, but we asked people to fill in the blank, basically. Bad lip reading. What did Terry say? Because what did he actually say when he was doing his little quotes?
A tunnel?
He said a tunnel. All right. So his mouth, like we made it so that there was no sound coming out, and we got to fill in the blank ourselves.
We did a bad lip reading challenge.
What was our favorite? Like, what did we think he was saying?
You said fashion.
Fashion. It looks like he's saying the word fashion, like quote, air quotes, fashion. Some of our favorites were Kelly Walsh said, hedgehog. And that was pretty good because it looked like when you just look at him and you imagine him saying, hedgehog, well, his mouth is moving like that. So it's pretty good. I like
it. Good.
Beverly Youngberg said fresh air. Pretty good too.
Definitely not if he's in the swamp.
Yeah. Gene McRoberts said mischief.
Mischief. Oh, I like that.
That looked about right.
Mischievous.
Yeah, he is. Julie York said buzz off. She must have think Terry was pretty angry. Hey, people, buzz off. Get out of here. Mary Struck said fairy dust.
Ooh, glitter.
No, don't talk about glitter.
Oh, let's send glitter to Terry. He'll never come on then.
Yeah. I think our favorite was from Susan Evelyn. Magic. It looked like he said the word magic. It's kind of like fairy dust.
With glitter.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for everybody that participated with that. That was just a little fun thing. Maybe next time I'll just pick like the top 3 or something and read those. But I'm going to find something in the next episode, post it on Facebook, and we can do this again because it was kind of fun. Yeah. We do have a voicemail, and you haven't heard it.
Oh, I'm always concerned when
I've heard
you
it.
just bring up random things.
I've heard it, so it's fine.
Okay, that doesn't mean it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, you ready to hear it? Are you ready?
I who cares if I'm not?
Let me get back on. All right, here. This is. Whoop. Here we go.
Hey, Dustin and Deidre. This is the OG Agnes Brooks. I just wanted to wish you well on your new season of the podcast because it's been 84 years since we've heard from you. Bye.
Thank you, Agnes.
Agnes, the OG. Thank you for that.
84 years.
Yeah, so
it's an inside joke. Use that GIF from
Titanic.
Yeah,
when
we've been gone too long.
Yeah. Well, it's been 84 years, but today is a new day and we're back.
We are back.
Yeah, we're pretty excited to be back, and we're really excited to get that voicemail. If you wanted to leave us a voicemail of your own and you just want to talk about whatever's happening on with Could It Be Us or with Oak Island in general, feel free to call. It's 360-836-4549.
Yes, you can also email us at oakislandpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can find us on Facebook at Oak Island Podcast, on Twitter at Oak Island Pod.
Yeah, aren't we on the gram?
We are on the gram.
Yeah.
At Oak Island Podcast.
Cool.
If you see, there's a trend there. If you really, if you want some of our swag, some of our gear, you can also do a little shopping.
Yeah, like this
over at Oak Island. Mug. Over at oakislandpodcast.com. Just click on the shop tab. You can contact us through there. All kinds of fun stuff. So I think that's it.
It's almost it. We do have patreon.com
yes.
/Oak Island Podcast. If you would like to support our podcast, even $1 or $2 a month goes a long way.
Seriously,
I know it's asking a lot to ask for people, ask for support like this from people, because it's not like an easy time that we're living through. It just isn't. But it would help us a ton, to be honest. It just really would.
So keep it going.
So yeah, if you wanted to support us in any way, that is a great way to do it. Patreon.com /Oak Island Podcast. We have a new patron that joined this week, Ann. So thank you so much, Ann, for doing so. And there's only one more thing I want to talk about real quick.
Okay.
Well, it's not like Oak Island or happy.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of you already know. I just wanted to throw this out there because I just feel like I need to talk about it a little bit. My little sister was there's no easy way to say that. She was brutally killed like a week and a half ago. And they did catch the person that did it, and he's in jail. He's going to be there for the rest of his life, which is great. It's been a really hard week on me and Deidre, like the last 2 weeks.
Couple weeks.
And my entire family. We have got a lot of love and support from the Could It Be crew.
Oh my gosh.
And
so much.
we can't thank you enough for all that.
It doesn't go unnoticed.
Like I'm happy and smiling and stuff talking about Oak Island because I'm really happy to be talking about Oak Island because the last couple of weeks have just been basically the worst weeks of my life. And I'm just getting to the place where I can to do this kind of stuff without thinking about the bad stuff because it's just been bad. But yeah, you have something?
I was just going to say we debated whether or not to come back.
Yeah, especially after that happened. But we made a decision that it made us happy good. And it's good for us. And we love our crew and we've received nothing but love back. So we're here and we just want to say thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
From the bottom of our heart.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that was another thing. My family has a GoFundMe for my sister's final expenses, and a lot of our people have donated to it, like a lot. And so I can't. I have goosebumps talking about it right now because I can't thank you guys enough. So thank you. This next week's still going to be a little bit of a hard one for me and Deidre because we have memorials to go to, and it's not going to be easy. And we may or may not be available for some of the stuff. Next week's podcast, like this week, might be wonky and pushed a little bit further than we wanted it to. We're hoping to get these things out on Thursdays.
Yeah.
We talked about maybe doing them on Mondays after the episode airs in Canada. We would love to do that, but it's really hard for the majority of our listeners are podcast listeners. And when you only give them a day to listen to it, that might be tough, because we want them to be able to listen to it in America before they watch the next episode. And that's really difficult when you only have one day to do that.
And my work schedule on Mondays is probably not going to allow for that.
Yeah.
So
anywho, I just want to say, thanks for all the love. Thanks for all the support. Both of us feel it. My whole family feels it. So, didn't want to leave the episode on a downer or anything, but, we're happy to be back. We're happy to be here. We're happy that Oak Island is in our lives and that you guys are in our lives. So I just want to say thank you.
Yes. Thank you. And
I guess that's it, huh?
Until next time.
Could it be?
Laird Man.